Yo, I'm Adam. I'm making Barrhell, a precision platformer rage game inspired by Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Jump King, and Pogostuck Rage with Your Friends. In Barrhell, the player finds themselves at the bottom of a strange cave, stuck in a barrel, armed with only a plunger gun. Can you escape? The last devlog covered the first few months of development and my background in game design. If you have yet to see that, I highly recommend it. This video will cover what I've done since then. I have 6 unique areas planned in the initial map for the release of the game. I currently only have 2 complete, the basic starting area and the waterfall area. It's time to make another. I gotta stick with the underground cave theme and create something fun, new, and unexpected for the player. Hear me out. Bones that break. Let's get to work. I started looking online for some dino bones that might work well for my idea, but I couldn't find anything even remotely close to what I needed, which means I unfortunately need to make them myself. And as I covered in the last devlog, I'm not the best at 3D modeling or art as a whole, at least just yet. So don't judge my meshes too harshly. This is what they all looked like in Blender after I modeled them. I'm hoping they look a little better in Unity after I put some textures on them. Oh, thank God. You know, I'm very pleased with this. You just really shouldn't look over here. Now that the modeling is done, it's time to make those crumbling bones functional. I chopped the bones up in Blender and imported those into Unity. I made the colliders for the first bone and got the sliced up chunks of the bone to explode. It's time to put those together now. After some work, here's the basic functionality of the crumbling bones. I added a particle system to show the different stages of decay of the bone, but it's definitely not enough. I'll need to find a better way to show the player that the bone is falling apart. While doing that, I found a bug where the crumbling bones shove the player off of them, only if part of the bone is inside of a wall collider. Disabling collisions between platform colliders stopped the problem. I'm not completely sure why it was shoving the player off the bone, but it sure is fixed now. I decided to make the sliced up version of the bone shake more and more the closer it gets to being broken. I think this improved readability for the player knowing when it will break. And now I need to do that for the next 10 or so different kinds of bones. Alright, now that that's done, I need a break from making these bones. But we'll come back to them shortly. I've had a lighting problem for a while. Unity's URP by default only allows 8 or so light sources to be on at once, and automatically decides what one should be on at what point. For me, this led to light sources being turned on and off right in front of the player, which looked really bad. I haven't done a ton of work with Unity's lighting system and tried baking my scene for the first time, and this is how it turned out. I decided, at least for now, that baking my lighting wasn't the answer, but I found that changing a specific setting in Unity's URP allows more real-time lighting, which seems to have worked well for me. Currently, the backgrounds for the different areas are just static images which make the game feel flat. And at points like this where 2 areas meld together, it looks really bad. Also, the player only has particle effects for perfectly landing the barrel, which makes interactions with the world feel pretty flat. To fix this, I made a single image for the background which has a subtle parallax effect to make it feel further away. It changes color and texture when the player enters or exits an area. I added particle effects for launching the barrel using the suction cup, when the suction cup connects with something, and every time the barrel touches the surface. I changed the sound of the gun from more of a bang to more of a pop. I added a sound for charging the gun and a specific sound for when the player perfectly lands the barrel. I think all of these changes added a ton of game feel and made the game feel way more polished. Okay, now that I'm feeling more refreshed, let's get back to those bones. I still need to do a lot to make them feature complete. Since I was just adding sounds to the player, I thought why not do that with the bones now? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm not quite sure yet what I think. Currently, the bones don't heal themselves and are stuck in whatever damage state they are in. The only way for them to become full health is for them to break and then spawn back in with full health. To fix this, I made them slowly heal over time as long as you aren't currently touching them. For the healing sound design, I just reversed the crunching noises from the damage states and played those as it heals. At this point, I realized the player could just go to the main menu or close the game and then come back in and all of the bones would be undamaged, and that's a problem. So I need to save their damage states between playthroughs, which shouldn't be too hard. And here we go. The bones should now remember how damaged they were between playthroughs. Here's a little sneak peek at the completed fossil area. I still have some work to do on the bones sound design. I think it feels a little bit too messy when there's too many bones around. Last but not least, I created a quick tutorial to teach the player how to play the game. I also created a toggle in the settings menu to turn it on or off depending on the player's preference. After the first completion of the tutorial, it will automatically uncheck the box for the player. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're still here, I want to thank you for making it this far. There's a link to Wishlist Barrhell on Steam in the description if you are interested. It really is the best way to support me. Let me know what you think of the game, any fun ideas you have, really anything. See you next time.